Shout out to Troy. Let's go. Yo, DLC Rock. It's ill.
Yeah.
Real niggas only. Facts. Worldwide, show that shine.
Get the cash and flash, hold that blind. And if I get that urge, splurge, don't blame that do it. Nobody's concerned, ain't got a thing to do with this.
All right, Dilla. Big fan, obviously, you already know. Happy birthday to J Dilla. Shout out to Detroit. Absolute legend. Real legend, not fake legend. Made stuff that people will always remember in hip hop, right? I had wanted to do this video after doing a video on Q-Tip. I just never got around to it because I've been honestly busy with Blood World and just writing. I'm about to get even busier with that stuff. But the point is that let's talk about Dilla. It's his birthday, and I want to put this out, you know? I think that when you talk about Dilla and his production, Dilla to me is kind of like that lounge kid. He's Pete Rock and Q-Tip on steroids, okay? And I, again, wanted to talk about Q-Tip first because the thing with Pete Rock and Q-Tip, Pete Rock is, like I said, is home cooking. It gives you that sort of like soul on a Sunday, James Brown breakfast type vibe. You know what I'm saying? With edge, like hip hop shit. And then you got Q-Tip, and I'll talk about this when I do a Q-Tip video. But Q-Tip is that spaced out bohemian gangster, but like, you know, that's in the I would say even in the clouds, but it's like literally up in space. Like just like the vibe that Q-Tip and that tribe gives off is crazy. It's cosmic, right? And so what I think is interesting is that Dilla to me is a mix of both those two together. Right, and that's why both in particular, if you hear Pete Rock or Q-Tip talk about Dilla, they can't say enough about him. They love him because it really is like those are his two fathers. You know what I mean? Like those, you know, Dilla is really a son of those two very specifically. Obviously, Dilla is influenced by other things, I'm assuming, but in particular, the pillars of his sound, in my opinion, are Pete Rock and Q-Tip. Now, because you know Q-Tip's vibe is very spacey, right? And I would argue that Dilla is even more spacey than Q-Tip in a way. And then, of course, that relaxed feel that I was talking about, that relaxed home vibe with Tip, you get that with P-Rock, you get that with Dilla. So, you know, Tip is very sort of like bouncy and shit like that, you know, but obviously with Dilla is like also bouncy as well, but a little bit more relaxed. Now, let's listen to Dilla talk about like Q-Tip in his own words, because I think this is actually really important.
Tape has been a dream come true for me, you know. Like I said, I never even expected him to call.
So,
to have something that
forget Kanye, whatever.
To what they did, you know.
Ever since I gave Tip the Slum Village tape has been a dream come true for me, you know. Like I said, I never even expected him to call. When Tip called, you know, like I said, my heart stopped because like I'm still a Tribe Called Quest die-hard fan, you know.
So that's the truth. He looks at himself as he's basically a Tribe dude, and it's no surprise, obviously, that he ended up working with a Tribe Called Quest to begin with. So that's Dilla. I'm playing this beat, which again, talk about that spacey Tip-like feel, but home cooking at the same time. Not as bouncy necessarily as what Tip would do. Think The World Is Yours remix, very kind of, you know, Tip shit is hard, right? Dilla stuff is like, it's hard, but it's definitely a little bit more relaxed in that almost Pete Rock kind of feel. That's what I mean, but still has the spaciness of it. You can hear it right away. Love this beat. So that to me is really the essence of Dilla. That's what makes Dilla amazing. Since we're on the topic of Q-Tip, let's play that World Is Yours remix instrumental so that you know what I'm talking about. See, it's all spacey and cosmic, but it's still like right? But with Tip, it's like, this is with Dilla, right? It's very like cosmic still hard, but so as far as the best stuff that you want to hear from Dilla, man, I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, I'd say obviously you got to listen to Fantastic Volume 2. That is, in my opinion, is Magna's opus. Amazing production. Get This Money, Players, Fall in Love, Once Upon a Time. I love all those records. So you got to definitely listen to that. That's in fact one of my favorite rap albums on the low. I haven't heard it in full in a minute, but it was definitely like a game changer for me when I heard that shit. Players in particular. It's a 788. That shit is fire. Shout out to my mans. And then obviously the other stuff that Dilla's done with, I'm trying to think some of the stuff he did with Busta. I mean, there's just so much, like Common, right? Nag Champa. There's so much stuff that Dilla has done. So I recommend doing a deep dive into him, to be honest with you. I love one of the Dilla beats that I think gets really slept on that I absolutely loved was what's this song? When this came out, Move. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, this shit is fucking crazy. I'm like Phantom of the Opera or whatever. I don't even know what this shit is. I think it is. Like, this is what I'm talking about, that hip hop shit, man. You gotta do new shit. Yo, this shit crazy. So yeah, anyway, shout out to Dilla, man. Rest in peace.